Hey friends, and happy Sunday. I hope you guys had a wonderful time this week, actually over the last couple of weeks, and really worked hard on your life inventory. I know we talked about a lot of different things for you to be doing, and we talked about having you describe yourself. Who are you right now, right? We talked about having you discover what you're grateful for, what your values are, all of the different things that you're tolerating in your life, your fears, and then all of your strengths. So I hope you have a nice list, and that's a really good place to start when we move on to our next steps in our Discovering Your Spark series. So the next thing that we want to talk about today is, what is your spark? And really, for that matter, what is a spark? But when I talk about a spark, I mean, it's that little something deep down inside you whenever you start something new, or you start to get excited about a new project or a new thing that you've done. So for example, if you take a guitar lesson, that little spark inside you might think, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. I am going to be like Jimi Hendrix up on stage and just be this amazing guitarist. That might be a spark. Another spark you might have is if you take a cooking lesson, you might think, wow, I can be like Martha Stewart. I'm going to have all of these amazing dinner parties. Life is going to be fantastic. I'm going to buy all of the best ingredients at the grocery store, and I am going to be this amazing chef just because I am taking these cooking lessons, right? Anytime we start something new, we have that little thing that goes on in our brain that tells us this is going to be incredible, and we start daydreaming and we get super excited about what its possibilities are. But what happens? What happens is you take that first guitar lesson and you play a wrong chord, or it hurts your fingers and it doesn't feel quite right when you're playing the guitar. Maybe you make your first souffle and it falls flat, or those fancy ingredients, you can't find them anywhere, right? So what do? We start to tell ourselves, well, I didn't want to do that anyway. Have any of you ever done that? Have you ever sat down and said, oh, you know what? I know I said I wanted to do that, but I don't want to do that anyway. Well, that's where we need to really identify what those sparks are and how important they are to us, and really help them grow so that we can continue to grow right through the sparks to make the big flames of excitement for where we're going in our life. So how do we do that? Well, first, we need to look at all the different categories in our life. Well, at least a lot of different categories in our life. So maybe it's something you want to do. Maybe it's something you want to have. Maybe it's something you would like to achieve. So how about somebody you would like to become? Something you'd like to really celebrate and get really excited about, something you would like to experience, something you want to share with others, something that brings you joy or relief of some way. We want to think about all of the different categories in our life too, right? So think about your career, your family, your friends, your social aspect, all of those fun things that you want in your life, your dreams and passions, your spiritual world, all of those little areas of your life. What are the things that excite you in those areas? Take a minute and write down right now all of those different categories and what is important to you. And I'm going to put them up right here. Okay, you got it? All right. Now, as you go through those different categories, like I said, think of something that you want to do, something you want to become, something you want to have in all, in those different categories. And then what I'd like you to do is make a list on one side of the paper of all of those things that you would like to have. Then we want to narrow it down because we're going to have so many things that we want to do. But when we talk about your sparks, we want to have really big sparks that we can develop into flames. So we need to kind of narrow it down a little bit because it's hard to focus on so many things at once. Now, that doesn't mean that all those things aren't important to you, of course, but we want to pick the things that are going to be the most important things for you. Those things that are going to give you stick-to-itiveness, the things that when you have that first failure, you say, you know what, I'm pushing right through it and I'm going to keep going. Because we don't want to be beating ourselves up. We are our own worst critic. We are the meanest people to ourselves, right? Would you ever say the things to other people that you would say to yourself? No, absolutely not. So let's pick those sparks that are the most exciting, the things that are going to help you drive through to that finish line to make sure that there's something that you're really excited about. So when you have your list, I want you to narrow it down, cut it in half. However many things you put on the one side, cut it in half. Then cut it in half again, and cut it in half again, and again and again, and keep going until you find maybe 1, 2, 3 sparks that are super exciting for you. Those things that you're like, If only this could happen, my life would feel blank, right? If only I could take my family to Disney, I would feel so amazing when we walk through the gates and my children know that I made that happen. Something simple might be like, if only I could get a brand new stove for my home, I would feel like the greatest chef in the world and it would make my heart shine, right? Something simple. It doesn't have to be big and extravagant, but it can be big and extravagant. But just think about those things that are the most exciting things that you would like to have in your life right now and write those down. Because next week we're going to talk about setting some goals and some vision to get there. All right, hope you guys have fun. And remember, here are the different categories. And here are the different ideas that you can get of something you want to do, become, achieve, so on and so forth. So go ahead and write those down and then have some fun, and we'll come back next week. And if you get a chance, write some comments below. I would love to hear some of the things that you want to achieve. See you soon. Bye-bye.